All right, I'm here. We're all here. Okay.
And we're now live. Excellent. Welcome back, folks. This is segment 7 of 8 of the quarterfinal stage for the USBF Open Trials. This is probably some of the very few words you'll hear from me because I have two superb commentators, Larry Cohen, Mitch Dunitz, neither of whom really needs any further introduction from me. We'll start out with the nickel juster match, which, as you can see on your screen, is now only one imp separated, but will float around as desired. Over to you guys.
Good afternoon or evening. This is Mitch Dunn speaking. I'm thrilled to be doing this with Larry Cohn, who does so much for Bridge, and he, on top of everything else he does, is volunteering his time to really go over some of these really fantastic matches. Right now, we're looking at Bobby Levin playing with Steve Weinstein, probably the premier 2-over-1 pair in the United States right now, or certainly one of them, and having played a number of times against Mike Purcell and Andy Goodman the last couple of years, they don't give away a whole lot. They're very good, got great partnerships, so we should see some terrific bridge. Larry, what are your thoughts about this?
Okay, well, it's a mutual admiration society because you've also done a ton of things for Bridge, and I look forward to watching Levin and Weinstein. Mitch and I were just chatting about the Hall of Fame, and Steve Weinstein just turned 60, so I expect we'll see him inducted because you have to be 60 or dead. So you're looking at a Hall of Famer sitting north, a Hall of Famer sitting west, and a soon-to-be Hall of Famer sitting south.
Well, it's hard to imagine anyone who is eligible to vote not voting for Stevie Weinstein. Not only is he a great player, but he's always such a gentleman at the table. I mean, he embodies there's a few people this really fits, but he really embodies everything that's good about the game. So let's see what's happened here. It looks like we've got three diamonds with a mixed raise, I'm guessing, and Mike had an easy for a game bid, and now the question's going to be whether he finds the jack of spades to make 5, or whether he misguesses the jack of spades and makes 4. Everyone take a nap.
Right. This is not at this form of scoring important, although we do notice the match is separated by 1 imp. So we do have 30 boards to go. And as we get close to the finish line, you never know when 1 imp will make a difference. But when you're playing in a contract like this and you see it's lay down, you don't burn up too much energy on that over trick. If it was match point scoring or border match scoring, you might dig in a little bit more. I think here you would just tend to play the takeout doubler for the missing jack of spades. So I expect he's going to get it misguess. If I had a guess, he's going to misguess.
I agree. That would be the basic way to do it. You'd play for the takeout doubler for the jack of spades, and you wouldn't lose much sleep about that after the fact.
He's trying to get a count here. That's not going to tell him much. He does know a heart split, but still, I just think he's going to play a club to the king and ace. Levin will play the queen of clubs, and I guess he'll just make only 10 tricks.
Now, when Stevie Weinstein pitched a diamond early on, in all likelihood, he has diamond length. And if Mike Purcell reads that for 5 diamonds, and I suppose there's a chance he could go right in spades, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
These players are playing on tablets. They are in separate rooms. Andy Goodman's in a room with Bobby Levin, facing each other with 2 tablets on tables, and Steve Weinstein's in a room with Mike Purcell. And I was in that position a year ago with my fellow commentator, Mitch Dunitz. And I remember, Mitch, the internet kept going down, and we had lots of breaks to chat and get to know each other. So as we see, he did misguess the jack of spades. So ironically, playing behind with the screens and tablets was more social than the normal bridge game.
That's such an interesting topic, Larry, because some people really don't like the tablets. They're old school. They like the feel of holding cards and everything that goes into it. I really enjoyed the tablets because there's two of you in a room, and while the other room is sitting there contemplating whatever they're bidding or doing, you really have a chance to get to know people or just be socialized and friendly. So this happened to the two of us, and it happened in a number of other times too. So I personally am a big proponent of the tablets. It also obviously takes away some of the unauthorized information that sometimes comes up with slight hesitations or things like that at the table. So it does cut both ways, but I'm a proponent of it.
Certainly, we could spend the next hour on pros and cons. If there's another wall, maybe we'll get into it. Here, East West have another major suit game. This one's not as simple. You would think South's going to do a bunch of bidding, and then four spades by East West is quite complicated. Maybe North South go on to five hearts. So this one looks like a fun competitive auction. What would you bid with the South hand? Four hearts, one heart,
Well,
two no?
the thing, one of the things I look at in these situations, what is the vulnerability? Because I certainly could expect a vigorous competition from the opponents, but since they're vulnerable and we're not, I think that I'm not as fearful as might otherwise be about bidding. But the question is this hand good enough to bid two no trump, showing hearts, the two lower on bid suits, hearts and diamonds, and then correct partners bid to hearts. And I kind of like that, to tell you the truth, because my hearts are so rich, and if partner has basically the king, queen, third of clubs, and either the ace of diamonds or the ace of hearts, I could make a slam. That's probably wishful thinking, but I think that's how I would bid. What do you like here, Larry?
So
Yeah,
both Zach
you made a
Grossack,
good case. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
the two people who've taken it so far, Zach Grossack, Kevin Dwyer, both overcalled four hearts and then doubled four spades when it came back to that. So that's the choice thus far.
Well, how did they double? So one diamond, four hearts double, pass, four spades double.
Correct.
Yeah, well, you could bid one heart, four hearts, or two no. Those all of those have pros and cons. But I kind of you talked me into two no and then bid hearts. That really does show the hand. But so does this. What Weinstein did here. I think that's going to get Levin to bid four, but meantime, West is going to bid three or four spades. Four spades. Now, Levin loves his clubs. He's got such defense too. He's got four spades, and that queen ten of diamonds looks like defense. So I don't see him going to the five level. But if you took that queen of diamonds and put it into the heart suit, I think Levin would be very tempted to keep bidding.
Something must be wrong, because I agree with your analysis.
So four spades, if they're allowed to play there, which is a long way from happening, they do have to lose a club, a diamond, and a spade at least, but I don't know if they can handle everything. Let's say king of hearts lead to the ace, and they lead the five of spades to the singleton ace. Get tapped.
There might be a trick.
Maybe.
It might be a trick for handling.
And if they do get to play four spades, it'll be the only table. Everyone else around the tournament is in five hearts double on the North South cards.
Yeah, well, that goes against what I was saying about the North hand. I think North has so much defense there with the four spades, 10-9, and the queen 10 of diamonds, 4-3-3, that hand's more suitable for defending.
Makes a big difference that all their partners, overcalled four hearts as opposed to going through the one heart, three club route.
Right. Although the one heart, three club route makes you love your queen jack 10 of clubs, but the same can be said for not loving the queen 10 low and diamonds. Now, of course, if the jack of diamonds was with East, North would have no diamond trick, because on this auction, declarer would figure it out. But given where the jack of diamonds is, North has a diamond trick. Certainly North South. So go ahead.
Oh, we have one other outlier now, which is that over Bart Bramley's precision diamond, 4 hearts, pass, pass, pass.
Diamond, 4 hearts. You would think West would double. I guess it was the 3rd seed opener, but still.
Well, they open a lot of 10 counts. You know, you played a forcing club forever. I'm playing it now in some of my partnerships. And uh, everyone has a little less information on what opener has when they open a lot of 10 counts. So
Yeah, but vulnerable, we didn't play around too much. Huntington
and
and playing 4 hearts. 4 hearts probably is a make if you can handle it. You might just lose a diamond, a club, and a heart. I think.
no, you're going to make 4 hearts, but yeah, I'm surprised. But you're absolutely right. You just made a comment I agree with, that vulnerable you wouldn't fool around, and the opposite of vulnerable 4 heart jump, it's hard to believe West didn't double as a matter of equity.
It's a white 4 hearts, and your partner open vulnerable, and West just, it's 3 king. So when we click on the DDS, I don't like doing that, but I'm just curious. Is 4 spades makeable? Yes. All right. So then now that just means double dummy. Looking at all 4 hands, that's telling us East, the declarer, can manage to lose just the obvious 3 tricks: ace of spades, ace of clubs, queen of diamonds. He can. That doesn't mean he will.
Well, perversely, if the ace of clubs and the club had been led, chances are it's possible that Andy Goodman would have ended up in the West hand and now mistakenly played a spade to the queen and the ace. But when he wins the
Which
first
he
round,
shouldn't do on this bidding. On this
yeah,
bidding, he definitely should be alert to the fact that South is the one who's, if anyone has short spades, it's South.
you're right.
5 hearts, 5 hearts doubled went down 2 at the other table. A heart, a club, and a diamond I can see. I'm wondering why it went down 2. What was the other trick they lost?
I mean, double dummy, I guess you can get a club rough, but that's pretty hard to arrange.
Diamond to the ace and a club through. That's no good. Can you get the club rough?
I think the answer is if you play for the club finesse to be on side, then you could lose an extra trick by ducking the club if that's how the play goes. And that'd be the only way to make 5 hearts, is if the club finesse is on side. Most defenders aren't leading the declarer's second suit, a trick from the king there. So unless they're playing poker, which they might be, that's probably not a common play.
So ton of imps are at stake here. If 4 spades makes, the Juster team will win a nice swing, and if it goes down, the opposite. This is like a supercharged, it's normally a game swings, 10, 11, but here it's more like 17 imps at stake.
The answer, by the way, is that, as you suggested, diamond to the ace club, which was ducked. So king of clubs, club rough.
Well, if East is forced to rough 2 clubs, then that would set up a second spade trick for the opponents.
East only has
No,
to rough
this is
1
in
club
5
because
hearts
the
double.
9 is going to become good. So certainly spade to the queen and ace wouldn't work. So we see those equal signs are still up there, which is telling you the double dummy, but that equal sign on the 6 of spades would be the 6 of spades to the 2 and the 5, which I don't see declarer playing low here. He's going to play the queen. Yeah, now he's going to go down. So he had to start spades from his hand.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not clear to me it's right for him to play a club when he gets in with the ace of hearts. At that point, 1 club pitch is he's not going to steal a club, and 1 club pitch is not going to do him a great deal of good. So I think he probably should have, at trick 2, played a spade towards the king.
Notice he's back double dummy to making it. Is that because the 9 of clubs is going to set up and he can score everything on passant or something? Let's see. The computer thinks he can make it again. I mean, it's very disconcerting sometimes and distracting to see the double dummy, but wait, let's leave it up there. What the heck? Since we started with it, we might as well leave it. So I don't see that he's going to do this, but apparently if he now plays king of clubs, roughs a club, ace of diamonds, diamond to the king, nine of clubs. Not sure why he makes it if he does that. He just singles everything in or what?
No, he should stick.
Yeah.
That shouldn't, that doesn't, I don't think it gets the job done.
Well, I mean, double dummy it does, as we can see, but not anymore.
Well, Bobby Levin had a really difficult decision on this hand, with three cards in both of his partner's suits and the Queen Jack 10 of clubs. Five hearts was obviously going down, and he's going to be rewarded for his pass here.
Barely. It was nip and tuck on this four spades.
Of course, now the nickel team is surged ahead. They're now up by 2 imps.
Well, this sport's not scored yet. This will be another 9 imps for them.
Apparently, my dogs are in agreement with that last statement of mine, so they've now been pushed out of the room.
Those dogs are there to tell us when to get a rough. We need them. All right. Well, we won't do the double dummy anymore. It's my fault. I asked for it. It certainly confused things, though. Yeah, it's always amusing though to see things you wouldn't even think of in real life. All right, so down 1 and 9 imps to the nickel team.
The other big swing on that board was Rosenthal picked up 12 for playing in 4 hearts making and taking 5 hearts double down 1. So they pulled ahead a little bit. They're up by 40 now.
Yeah. After these 30 boards, 15 now and 15 more, will be down to 4 teams. And sometimes the team trials qualify 2 teams to go to the World Championships. In this case, only 1 team will go.
All right, as advertised, 9 imps to the nickel team. No, thank you.
Okay, do you want it in the fridge?
Right on.
Okay.
Thank
See
you.
later.
All right, thanks, Amy.
Well, this deal looks boring. It looks like who's going to get to 1-0 first. We don't pass out deals anymore, although West has 14 points, so certainly not going to happen. Pass, 1 club. Keats responds a spade in the modern style. West bids a no trump, and West will be in 1-0. Maybe a heart lead, which looks like a good lead for the defense.
It looks like unless the declare misplays or misguesses the diamond suit, looks like he's going to come to 7 tricks. Or 6 tricks. Actually, he might be fighting for the 7.
Yeah.
He's going to
Yeah.
2 spades is 3, and then he needs to come up with 4 tricks from the clubs and diamonds. By no means clear.
So I'll tell you that one player did pass this out in 4th seat. Any guesses as to who that conservative bidder would be?
I think he miscounted his points. Or misclicked, or so. Who passed the 14 points?
Joe Grew passed out.
Oh, well, Joe Grew's up 150, so maybe that's just being cute. That's funny.
But that is funny. On the other, I will say this: Joe and Brad open all 10 counts, not vulnerable. So therefore, looking at a crappy 14, I think he took a swing, but it's not as utterly ridiculous as it seems.
It gets one board closer to going to the bar when you're up by 150. All
And
right. Well, I don't know about you, Mitch, but I find if I'm a viewer, I don't know how deeply they want to listen to our analysis. I can tell you this, Levin and Weinstein swear by attitude leads as opposed to fourth the best. That's why he didn't lead the four of hearts. The lower they lead, the more they love the suit. And Steve has been trying to convince me for years how much better that is than fourth best. I haven't bought in yet, but
I've always thought that attitude leads are tougher for everybody. They're tougher to figure out what's going on when you're defending, and it's tougher for the declare. I do think you give away a lot less to a competent declare, and it has value there. But you need to be playing attitude leads all the time as defenders to really get into the subtleties and make sure you're not doing anything foolish. But it has a lot of value, and when you and I are declaring, we're counting out a hand, but it's an attitude lead. There's a little more guesswork.
oh yeah, I love when I'm in 3-0 and they lead the two, and I know the 6-4-4. It gives you comfort. And those annoying attitude leads, you don't know if they're 4-4 or 5-3. So I definitely it does not give as much away to the declarer, and you hit the nail on the head. It's harder for the defenders, harder for the declarer.
Another a leading thing that's become especially popular lately is, how do you feel about Rusno leads against no Trump?
Yeah, I know. Max Roth and Rodwell were doing them, and David and I switched to them. I don't know. I didn't draw any overwhelming conclusion one way or the other. Did you?
Well, I'm now in my partnerships, I'm now leading Rusno from length against no Trump, 4 or more. And there's one exception, and that is King is the power lead. So from King Queen third, I'm leading the King from King Queen third, and I'm leading the King as a power lead, saying I like that suit. So there's some ambiguity there. Um, there are situations, especially if you like to lead Queen from Queen Jack third or Jack from Jack 10-9. There is some value there in your waking partner up, and I like it. But again, you're giving information to everybody when you do it, which is a two-edged sword.
Yeah, and sometimes you couldn't read it. So there were pros and cons. All right, so declare knocked out the spade. He's going to have at least 6 tricks. Clubs are 3-3 if he wants to go after those eventually. Oh, I'm so tempted to put DDS again, but I won't click it.
I will act as your restraint here, Larry.
So I don't know if you guys know Bill Bailey. He's on the Bailey team that is losing today. They had a wonderful upset in their previous match, but I'm a bit in awe of Bill Bailey. He's a friend of mine and sometime partner, but I'm a bit in awe because he created deep finesse before he was a bridge player.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was late 1990s. Fred Gittleman introduced him to me, and we were all so excited about it, and it really revolutionized so many areas of the game, that double dummy analysis, which is 100% accurate. Yeah, it's really changed my bridge life as a writer, player, analyst, teacher. Yeah, I believe it used to be a commercial program, and then he just made it free for everybody. It's a
Yeah.
free download now. These one no contracts, which I don't like to write about, I don't like to teach them, analyze them, but I can tell you at the table, aside from the 4 imps involved, I found them to be psychologically important in that it really tests you, especially as defenders, on your carding, your signaling, your strategy, passive aggressive, and getting them right makes you feel good at the table. And if you're careless or lazy or make a mistake, which is so easy to do, you feel bad for the rest of the set. And So I really wanted to dig in and get the defense right on these things. Looks like they're on their way to setting it for sure now, at
Yeah.
least one. Levin and Weinstein, having played together so many years, aside from the bidding system, when you're a regular partnership, you've spent thousands of hours on defense, not just at the table, but discussing all the little. What does this mean? What does that mean? And it's a well-oiled top pair like this is really going to dig in and just beat you up on these little part score defenses. If you take a 64 board match against a pair like this, and you're just average, is every board's a part score like this, you're just going to lose 5 imps 30 times. It's
that is such a
really show. Yeah.
That's such a great point. I mean, the reality is what we've got, especially when you get to this point in this event, you've got a bunch of great players, but the difference is there's some people who have time-honored partnerships, and they're going to have an edge over two expert. I mean, if you and I sat down and played and discussed for 2 hours, we could cover about 80 to 90% of what we need to, but that other 10 or 20% would be huge, and that's the advantage that the well-oiled partnerships have.
Right. And I found that even last year when I played with David, even though we hadn't played in a while, having that 20 years of history, you just feel so comfortable on defense. It really makes a difference if you've played hundreds and hundreds of boards with the same partner.
Yeah.
I think the two pairs we've seen have a little potential accident in terms of bidding understandings like that. So Zia playing with Dan Corbell, and then Eric Rodwell playing with Doug Simpson. Those have both been a couple of cases where there've been, these fine nuances haven't been quite ironed out yet.
Well, I imagine if Doug Simpson and Eric Rodwell have a mistake, not much would be said if they were in the same room. But if Dan Corbell, who I think is a brilliant player, made a mistake, I'm sure Zia would have a few words to share with him.
Yeah, that's some of these people really appreciate being in different rooms. Look at this, because of the 7 of diamonds, it's going to go down to that extra chick in the end game. Yeah, Zia, I really like the guy, but as a partner, he can be difficult. I don't know, Mitch, if you've ever played with him, but
I haven't played with Zia, but my regular partner Ifti Bakai has played with Zia, and I think, and I mean, anyone who plays with Zia, they have to have thick skin, and I've heard you and I have heard so many stories over the years, and Zia is such a good guy, but he just simply can't help himself.
right, so go a spade or pass, maybe. I don't see anyone hitting.
This should go a spade all pass, and
Oh.
if we were playing precision, we might get to 4 hearts. So there could be a swing if there's a precision. You might not get to 4 hearts, but you would certainly get to hearts. But it'd be interesting to see. Maybe you can check if anyone's playing precision. Are they getting the game with these cards?
So for better or worse, we're at the very slowest table this round. So there have been 2 pairs get to 2 hearts. That's as far as anyone's got. 5 tables playing in 1 spade.
Certainly, West doesn't have enough to open 2 clubs, and when it goes 1 spade or pass, you're a little concerned. Like if your partner says, "I've got nothing," and he puts down 6 hearts queen, you're 6 hearts queen and a singleton diamond, you missed the slam, but you don't worry about that. You don't open 2 clubs with the West hand.
You don't open 2 clubs unless you really want to send your partner to the partnership desk. So we can see that 1 spade should go plus comfortably. The poor declare doesn't even have an entry to the dummy in order to take a heart finesse.
Well, that's going to end up being to his gain here. This is like a Greek gift here.
Okay.
Is that politically incorrect to say? I don't know. these
Uh,
days.
I'm still talking to you. Ewan's still talking to you.
I am. The two pairs that got to two hearts won one imp, right? The two hearts making three as opposed to one spade making two. It's not a big deal.
Well, you haven't quite made. Look at him refusing those heart finesses. Now I'll just play the ace king of spades and get on with it. He can even afford to play ace king in another.
I think that was
Why isn't he?
that's a savvy play by a savvy veteran player. Mike Bissell saying, "Why would Steve Weinstein be doing this?" And he drew the right inference.
Yeah, he doesn't want to suffer a heart rough anyway. But why didn't he start to do a trump at this point? Here, I don't know why he didn't just play the ace king and a spade and get on with it.
I must
That's
admit,
strange, isn't it?
if I was in a 5-1 fit, I might feel differently, but in a 5-2 fit, I would have played 2 rounds of spades for sure, maybe 3.
Yeah, you can afford the hearts are good now. Why not play ace king and a spade? And if they're
Oh,
3-3,
yeah,
you
once the hearts are good, you should. I agree.
know,
Anyway,
it's getting involved.
the hand of the length in spades is the one that's roughing, so it doesn't cost him here.
Yeah, but if the spades were 3-3, he just gave away a trick for no reason.
Yeah, you're right.
And you mentioned that upset of the Bailey team beating Robinson by one imp in the previous round. There's no reason to throw away an imp.
No, you're right.
It's a no swing. Two boring deals in a row.
I suspect this next one is going to be no more interesting, I'm afraid.
Okay, well,
So Larry,
5-6-7.
Larry, is a matter of style. Let me ask you a question. Our viewers would probably be interested in this. How do you feel, and when you're teaching, how do you feel about when you've got 4 diamonds and 5 clubs, opening a diamond, rebidding 2 clubs versus sometimes rebidding a no trump with a singleton? Do you have a style there?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I'm old school. I know the most of the modern experts, and they're opening the 5 card club suit, and they're dealing with the rebid problem by rebidding one no with a singleton. But I'm old school. Well, what I consider old school, I open a diamond and then bid clubs. Of course, in this case, with 15 highs, I'm happy with the one no opening, which it turns out is going to horribly wrong side it. But I like the one no opening here. But if you go away a point or two, I would have opened a diamond. I'm old school.
I'm in the middle. I do both. But one of the things I would sit down and discuss if I was playing with somebody new is how frequently, if I open a minor and rebid a no trim, are you going to rebid a 5 card major? Because
Right.
certainly,
Well, that's
if
the
you're
key.
going to rebid a 5 card major frequently, then certainly you can't rebid a no trump with a singleton.
Yeah, that's the way I did it with David. We just were encouraged to bid a something, a spade, and no trump, 2 spades with 5, and not worry about a singleton. So this has been wrong-sided, but I guess even from the right side, 3-0 would still be down a trick. Now it's just going to be down an extra trick. And I think pretty much this is everyone's 3-0 down too, unless some people play it from east, then it'll be 3-0 down 1, I guess.
I don't think there's any way around opening a no trump with this hand. I mean, obviously, you don't really like being 2-2 with no high cards in the majors, but you're not strong enough to reverse. So the choice is this, or to bid a diamond and rebid 2 clubs, and you've got a king more than a minimum. So I know I would open a no trump.
Yeah, it's not like I love it. Like I'm trying to hog the hand, and it's not like I want to be declarer. But to me, it's the best lie. It's any other lie is worse. And sometimes this happens. You're in it from the wrong side, and so be it. Everyone's going to be in 3-0. I think this auction's going to happen at probably most tables. Is that right? When you can You got to remind me of your pronunciation. We went through this 3 years ago.
We did. You're right.
Yes.
Ewan. No worries.
Ewan. Okay.
I was
that's
expecting this to
McGregor,
be
yeah.
completely flat. It turns out no. One pair got to 5 clubs. So, playing their relay style, Kit Woolsey, Bart Bramley avoided 3-0 and made 5 clubs for a swing into them.
Wow, 5 clubs because you can't get at the five if it's 5 clubs by East somehow.
Clubs by East, correct.
Wow,
That is
5 clubs by East. What a triumph that was.
That's a Bridge World 12.
Yeah, although 5 clubs is you still need a little before, but it's certainly better than 3-0. Yeah, 1-0, 3-0 is quite normal.
Well, and to be fair, they still opened. So Kit opened a no trump, the 14-16 no trump, but transferred to spades, bid clubs, and then 3 diamonds, 3-0, but Kit took it out to 4 clubs.
There you have it.
Hold on. All right. This looks like 4 hearts north south. And what can East West do about that? Well, they can bid 4 spades. So this looks like a good battle.
I had one question before we left the previous hand, which was that everyone was leading the jack from Queen Jack 5th of hearts. Is that just standard expert practice now?
Well, we've been talking about that a lot. Lead Rooster now. They lead second from hers instead of top. It's not like it was because it was Queen Jack 9-8. It's just because they lead their second honor, and a lot of people have switched to that.
One of the reasons why they'll do that, if you lead the queen from Queen Jack, in essence, you're asking about attitude for not just the ace or king, but also the 10, the lower. If the queen promises the, if the jack promises the queen, then the 10 is a key card. If you're playing standard and you lead the queen, you're going to get attitude with the ace or king, but you're not going to get attitude with the 10. So I think the Rusino players, that's part of why they do what they do.
So East West didn't get in here, and it's just as well because that 4 spades, looking at the East West cards, looks like maybe a reasonable venture. But if you saw South spades, you might not want to be bidding 4 spades.
I think
I think Weinstein's just going to bid 4 now.
if East
4
West were
hearts.
to get 4 spades, Stevie's a nice guy. He'd probably hand Mike Sell the declare a quarter and say, "This is for you. You're going to need to call an ambulance."
Yeah, well, would we have gotten in as East West? Would you have considered doubling 1 diamond with the East hand, Mitch? I close to it, but I
You're
don't know.
close to it. We both despise 4-3-3 hands. Um, but I think my attitude with these kind of hands is if I make up my mind I'm going to bid, I'm going to bid now or I'm not going to bid at all. And there's obviously a lot of risk in bidding, but there's risk in not bidding too. So with hard cards, married honors in 2 suits, I probably would have bid, but I know I bid for sure at match points, but I probably would have bid too. What about you?
I think it's very close. It wouldn't shock me if anyone does get to 4 spades double East West. Maybe we can see if that happens. Because I could see it going 1 diamond double. It's very close.
Yeah. And by the way, the hand it's more appealing to double with this hand when you have 4 spades and not 4 hearts, because when you have the boss suit, if it's a part score hand, it's more likely to be your hand when you have spades. So the same hand with 4 hearts and 3 spades, I'd be less likely to bid.
So Eddie Wald did come
No,
in
that-
on this hand and got his side just 4 spades double, down 1100.
And he needs that 25 cents that Mitch mentioned.
Well, no, it would be the person sitting behind him that would need the 25 cents.
So yeah, the thing about the East hand, you'd open the bidding with the East hand, and 12 points when the honors are married, when they're in the same suit, it makes the hand better. So it's really, you have a 10. I think I've talked myself into a takeout double with the East hand, but it's very close.
Notice that Eddie was sitting west, so he came in after 1 diamond past 1 heart. He made a takeout double with the west hand.
Oh, as a passed hand. Well, that's understandable. That's understandable as a passed hand. Yeah, although all his points are in their suits, but that's understandable too. So anyway, four hearts hasn't exactly made yet. Weinstein did do well here on the first trick, putting in dummies 8 of clubs. That can only be helpful. But what the heck is he going to do with all of those spades in his hand? So this looks complicated. Now, East can't, from East's point of view, defending, those diamonds would terrify me. I don't, as a defender as East, I'm worried about those diamonds. So yeah, I understand what he's doing here. He's trying to take his tricks. You know, for all he knows, that lead was a doubleton or a singleton. So I don't blame East at all for that ace of clubs play, which is going to make Clara's life very easy.
You're sitting, you made a good point. You're sitting East, and any diamond finesse is on side, so you're going to try and take your tricks.
Yeah, we're sitting here looking at all four hands and say, hey, why is he doing that? Why is he helping the Clara? He doesn't know that those diamonds and dummy are dead. He was hoping king of clubs, ace of clubs off a club. Maybe his partner is the ace, a trump trick, ace of hearts, ace and a heart. What does he know? Well, the Clara is going to just have fun now.
Yeah, he's not going to work up much sweat.
Now, notice when he plays the queen of clubs, West should play the 10 because that's the card he's known to hold. And if he doesn't play the 10, it lets Stevie play another club without worrying about getting overroofed. So let's see if Mike Purcell makes a careful play of the 10 of clubs here. Because from trick 1, he's known to have it.
That's an excellent point. And the one thing to declare in this situation does not want over fouled by ace and a heart. But
Well done, Mike. Yeah. There's an expression in bridge: play the card you're known to hold. So Mike did that.
And here we can see that what's going to happen is Stevie can rough his diamonds low, rough a spade, rough a diamond low, rough a spade, then play the jack of clubs. So the order of the play, whether the 10 of clubs was a true card or not, is going to get him home. He's going to have plenty of tricks.
But he doesn't know he can rough a diamond, though. He doesn't know that
He does.
Purcell.
He doesn't. I mean, there is a subtle inference, I suppose, that if Andy Goodman had a diamond honor here, he might have switched to a trumpet trick too. So that maybe that's worth something. I don't know.
Can he afford? Well, now he's going to find out when Goodman shows out. That makes life easy.
And now he's going to end up making all but the ace of hearts.
Right. So we can see the other table played 4 hearts, making 10 tricks, so nickel will gain 1 ampere. If you're wondering why the so-called sponsors are playing here so late in the match, that's the new thing. It used to be the sponsors of the team would play the first 2 sets and sit out at night, but now they've taken to playing the second and third sets. If you want to explain why, Mitch.
I think it depends on stamina and a lot of different factors. One of the sponsors yesterday played 4 sessions in a row, so they didn't have to play today. So I think it depends on. I can't explain why, because I think it depends on the individual sponsor. What are your thoughts on this front?
Well, in general, what they're doing, like Nickel's playing 2 and 3, so that the pro pairs get to rest in the middle. They don't have to play 3 in a row. That's their thinking.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. All right, so
Here
we
we have a Michael's bid, yeah.
Yeah, and this could be interesting because there's a big club fit on the one hand and a double major suit fit on the other. So let's see what happens.
So West could just bid 4 hearts or could make a stronger raise here. And I think North would then bid 4-0. North knows about the big minor suit fit. North might just bid 4-0 now. And he knows his opponents are headed to 4 hearts.
One of the. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I kind of like 4-0 right now. On the other hand, there's something to be said for 3 diamonds. to get the diamond lead and then later sacrifice.
Yeah, I like the three diamond bid first for the reasons you just stated. One of the things that's interesting about the Michaels bid, which is very popular, is when you and I were pups and we're taught to play Michaels, you're either supposed to have a good or a bad hand. And now people Michaels with the whole rainbow, good, bad, or intermediate. And so the game has evolved somewhat so that obviously you're not going to Michaels with a terrible hand when you're vulnerable and the opponents aren't. That's a factor. But there's ways of sorting out when your partner's made a Michaels bid, what their strength is. Here it's not going to matter because Bobby has such a good hand and he's just going to be bidding a lot. So, but it is interesting for those of you out there who play Michaels. The modern style now is to bid it with a whole range of hands.
Although I'm still old school, I avoid it with the medium hand. I overcall when I'm like in the middle. I would consider this one fine for Michaels because vulnerable to me, this is a minimum.
Yeah,
But if you made the spades say better, like ace 10 fifth of the spades, I would overcall. I'd be afraid to miss a game because my partner is not going to go looking for a game with some medium 9 or 10 useful points over Michaels. So I still adhere to it's either a bad hand or a very good hand.
okay, so when
So
we
I'm still a pup. I'm still a
when
pup.
we fill out that card, I'm going to make a note of that.
Right. So 11 went the direct. This does put pressure on the opponents. And so what would happen to 5 clubs? I guess 5 clubs looks like a make to me.
It looks like a make to me also.
And in fact, 5 clubs has been bid and made at 3 of the 4 tables to have a result so far. Correct.
5 clubs doubled, I would think, by West. West would double 5 clubs.
Only doubled once. The other 2 were undoubled.
Well, you have negative defense in the heart suit with 5 hearts. You have the king of spades behind the spade bidder, but still you have
clubs. And the king jack of clubs behind.
Yeah, you got the king. You got one sure trick, it seems, in clubs, and partner open the bidding. Pretty hard, pretty disciplined not to double 5 clubs. The only thing going for it, I suppose, is in these kind of situations, unless I really am sure, I think I'm beating at 2 tricks, I might not pull the trigger. Beating it for 1 trick set, I'm not as big, especially when they're not vulnerable. But here they are vulnerable.
On here, the winning action is the sacrifice, which he's supposed to have done. It's down 5 hearts is down only 1, I think. Let's see.
I think it's going to be down 2. Oh no, the club, there's a spade pitch on the club, so it's going to be down 1. You're right.
Yeah. I think Levin's going to double this. He knows his diamonds are tricks on defense.
Andy Goodman made a fine bid here.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know exactly what 2 spades promised, but that was a big. It's much better to be minus 100 than minus 600. So that was a big swing.
So the big swing on the board, Eddie Wold, after giving away 1100 the previous hand, got to play and make 4 hearts on this hand, whereas his teammates are making 5 clubs doubled. So they're getting those imps right back.
On the other table of this match, we don't know yet.
Ewan, what's happening in the other matches? Are they close? Fill our viewers in. What's happening in the other matches?
So Lebovitz is slightly ahead, although they're about to come back to basically even on the set. They're up by 40 right now. After this board, they'll be up by 26 or so. Fleischer Bailey is still a complete blowout. Rosenthal Bramley. Rosenthal is slowly creeping away. 194, 155 right now. It's up about 40 at this point.
So the spade lead doesn't matter because they weren't going to get a spade check anyway. It was going to go on the club. So it's down 1 no matter what. And it's going to be 11 imps for Juster because we can see now the other table did play in 5 clubs. So Goodman's decision to sacrifice is earning his team 11 imps.
which is going to bring this match right back to basically tied again.
So while we're watching this hand, we know what's going to happen. Larry, you've been prolific in your writing. Are you working on any new books right now? Any new topics? What's your bridge journey right now?
Well, the most recent one was about conventions, which I never thought I'd write about, and it basically said don't play any conventions. So for the moment, I'm just sticking to teaching, which I love, absolutely love teaching at the intermediate level. Teaching, hexagonal squeezes. I like teaching intermediate bridge, which I think is the beautiful part of the game, and I love doing it. Have you ever done any teaching, Mitch?
You know, I give lectures at tournaments, and I will sit down with some of my less experienced, not really so much duplicate players, sometimes for like 2 or 3 hours, and play and discuss the hands. I don't give not formal teaching, um, but it's sort of like when I play golf and I'm 180 yards away and I'm thinking, please just hit the ball straight. Where a good golfer doesn't think like that. So when I sit down with my less experienced friends to play bridge, I try and tell them this is what I'm thinking right now and trying to get them to think a certain way in tackling a bridge problem. And it's, what, they're appreciative and I enjoy it. I don't have your talent at it, but I've never been a full-time teacher, and if they want to learn, then I'm all for it. If it's someone who's just there to be with their spouse or something like that, that's not very appealing to me.
Well, if we get another lull, I want to come back to that topic of teaching and what's happening down the road as we get more bridge players. But here we have a brand new deal. So let's see. It looks like an East-West game in no Trump. In fact, off the
Almost
top, it looks like a boring 3-0. Go ahead.
no, almost enough cards for a slam, but just missing a minor detail, 2 aces.
You know what, though? 3-0 has a slight problem in that, let's say it's a diamond lead, and then clubs are held up twice.
Yeah, there you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you don't have 9 tricks in 3-0 yet. You're going to get to 3-0. West is going to transfer to clubs and then show heart shortness. East is going to bid 3-0. And if they lead a diamond, declarer's got some trouble. Let's see.
They're still going to make it because if it goes diamond, diamond, 2 rounds of clubs have to be docked, and then you could play 4 rounds of hearts, and or you'd play a third round of clubs. They'd win that, and now eventually 4 rounds of hearts. Hearts are 4-4, and they have to either give you an entry in diamonds or give you a spade, make a spade play, and the spade finesse is onside. So if they double dummy and they duck 2 rounds of diamonds, you're going to score 2 diamonds, 2 clubs, 3 hearts, and the spade finesse. So you would struggle.
Well,
You don't think
well,
so?
I'm not quite convinced yet. What if they lead a diamond? But they lead the 2 of diamonds.
And you win the king, and you play, and you knock out the ace of clubs
On the 3rd round.
on the 3rd round. And now what are they going to do?
Diamond to the ace.
Okay,
And exit in hearts.
and you play 4 rounds of hearts.
Yeah, and you only get 2 diamond. You only get 1 diamond trick. 1 diamond, 2 clubs, and you're going to end up losing 3.
Oh, I see. So, all right. So, hold on. So that's very interesting. So they play it. You duck the first time. You're saying not win the ace.
Well, you lead the 2 of diamonds. The guy's south's on lead. Let's say he leads a diamond.
If he leads a small diamond, you're right.
Yeah. All right. So the diamond's led. Well,
In that
now
case,
it's nothing.
After the first 2 clubs are ducked, you'd take your second diamond trick in dummy and take a spade finesse. So you'd score.
No, you can't take the second diamond trick. I'm leading the 4th best diamond, say. I'm leading a low diamond and the jack wins in dummy. Now, club duck, club duck. Now what? I only have 1 diamond trick. I can't get back to the dummy for the second diamond.
Okay, let's take this a step further. So you win, let's say you play.
Double dummy, I can make it, but
No, wait,
double
yeah,
dummy, I can make it, but
double W,
yeah.
you could play on diamonds and then clubs, and then you'll come to two diamonds, two clubs, three hearts, and two spades.
Yeah, but single dummy, I think you're gonna go down. I'm the fourth best diamond lead. You win in dummy. Club duck, club duck. Now what? Let's say you play a diamond, they win it and they exit in hearts. You play ace, king, queen, and a heart. They win it. They play the king of spades. You win the ace. You would have to now, I think, exit with the low spade or something double dummy. Because if you play the queen and then another spade, you're down.
Yeah,
I could
right.
see this going down. I mean, not anymore. Not now that a spade was left. You can get to dummy with the diamonds. So, but let's see if at any table they lead a diamond against 3-0. You and I don't know if
Good
anyone
idea.
has led a diamond against 3-0.
They have
I
two
I
tables
think
led
it
to
might.
two diamonds. In both cases, 3-0 made 9 tricks.
Well, how?
Give me a second.
Good. How did they make it on a diamond lead? What am I missing? Maybe I'm diamond lead, club, club, duck. You get 2 clubs, 1 diamond is 3, 3, 6, 2 spades is 8. Huh.
No, I think in a diamond lead, you need to play a second round of diamonds before
Would you?
Well, I wouldn't, but if you do, that's going to work.
Well, maybe you should.
If you play the second round of diamonds, if you think diamonds are 4-4, that's what you're going to do. You're going to play a second round of diamonds. They're going to win the ace and do whatever they want, and now they can duck 2 rounds of clubs, and you're going to make it. So you have to play a
If you
diamond.
think diamonds are 4-4, if I sit out with an attitude diamond and you wouldn't know if they're 4-4.
So the line I had in my head actually was taken at both tables, which was after the second club duck, both declarers took a spade finesse, played a second spade, and then played 4 rounds of hearts. And eventually North got basically end played to lead a diamond back to dummy.
Well, they couldn't unblock in hearts.
They could have unblocked.
And now the defense would get 2 spades, and well, maybe they can't do it. Yeah, I mean, I can see you can make it, but I can see it's interesting with the diamond lead.
Also interesting is that at both tables, when declarer played a small spade off dummy, both Norths flew in with the king. You know, they could see it was going to fall, so they played it straight away.
It did make things interesting. This is a question I get asked a lot. First of all, West should not overgo with that hand. All of the inexperienced players overcall 2 clubs with that hand, and that's losing bridge. You just should not overcall with a 5-3-3-2 hand like that in a so-so suit. The question I get asked a lot, I like to play 1-0 semi-forcing. So I would start with 1-0 with North's hand, and I always get asked, but Larry, what if you have a 3-card limit raise? And what if you bid 1-0 with North's hand and your partner says pass and you're in 1-0? And my answer is, I don't care, because if my partner passes 1-0, my partner's flat minimum, 5-3-3-2, and 1-0 will usually make, and 3 spades often will go down. And if my partner's not flat, he'll bid again, and life will go on. So I like 1-0 semi-forcing.
I like 1-0 trump semi-forcing over a spade too. And I don't mind it over a heart. I don't even mind playing non-forcing no trump over a heart, but I'm a big proponent of semi-forcing over a spade.
Just to finish off the
No
previous
harm's
hand.
done.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Just to finish off the previous hand. So in fact, both declarers, they'd taken their 2 spades. They exited after cashing the hearts with a diamond, and South was then played into giving declarer a 3rd spade trick. Or they could, put North in to give the dummy a 2nd diamond trick. So either way, declarer came.
Right. Right. It's very cute. It got very interesting. What looked like a dull board became very interesting on the diamond lead.
Now,
Right, so go ahead. 4 spades.
on this hand, are North-South playing 2 clubs as Gazilli or Bark? Do we know what the 2 club bid is? We could explain what those 2 treatments are to our viewers. If 2 clubs is just 2+, so they're probably playing Bart, which is a treatment. One of the disadvantages in playing a 2/1 approach is when it goes a spade, a note, trump, two clubs. If you're not playing any methods, there's a very wide range of what a two-spade rebid might show when responder bids that subsequently. So some people play that, I don't know if I said that right. Some people play over two clubs that two spades directly would show 8 to 10 high card points and a doubleton in partner's first bid suit. And then you would go through two of a red suit to show perhaps either a serious raise in the clubs or a weak raise in spades. Are you in favor of such a treatment, Larry?
Yeah, if you can remember it all. I'm not teaching it.
You
Yeah,
are you
certainly.
are an honest man. You are an honest man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm happy with all that stuff if you remember. Here, a nice little lesson for some of my students on the Queen of Diamonds lead. East should encourage because East has the 10, and that's enabled the cell to continue the diamond suit safely, knowing that he's not going into declarer's King 10 of diamonds. So now the defense is going to set this. They have their diamond, their club, and they'll have to get two spade tricks. I don't see that declarer could have done anything about this. This looks pretty normal. Four spades down one. It never feels good when you're in four spades down one on a board like this, but it's almost sure to be a push. It's really an annoying hand to play. Like, what? Oh, he roughed the king of clubs and dummy. It wasn't covered. Well, there's no way he can make this. I don't see that anyone's going to make four spades at any table unless he's there looking. They can tell me if anyone's making four spades. I'm going to say no.
You could have tried something differently, would have also failed, which is early on trying to rough some hearts in his hand, shortening his hand. But since West only had a doubleton heart, that wasn't going to work.
You could have
Larry
also
would
played
win.
the jack of clubs to the king. Go ahead.
Larry would win this bet. We have four spades down three times and down one once. So thus far, no one's made it.
Yeah, I never liked to put that minus 100 or minus 200, but and at this level, it's just going to be a push board or three imps for the extra overcheck. He might have played the jack of clubs to the king. Maybe he thought his RHO wouldn't duck with the ace. Well, none of this is any fun here. It looks like he's going down more than one.
It's going to get roughed and a spade will come back. So there's going to be two more.
You mean a club? A club will come back, you mean?
A king of hearts, if he roughs, he doesn't even have to play a club. He can rough and play the king of spades, and then he'll win the club later.
He wants to do better. He wants to rough, get his partner to over rough, and then score his other spade as well.
You're correct. That'll work too.
Let's beat it 3. Yeah, now it's down 3, right?
You're right.
Well, that doesn't feel good to write down 300. I was willing to write down minus 100. He's going to end up writing down minus 300 now. Nice defense by East West, and what can you do? Sometimes the cards are no good like this.
Well done.
Which is likely to tie up the match or perhaps put Juicer slightly ahead.
So West opens a club, and what does North do? I would just bid a normal one diamond. I'm not doing any of the fancy things. Are you, Mitch?
I'm not good enough to double and bid diamonds with this hand. And besides, if I double, I'm asking for trouble when my partner bids spades. So I would just bid one diamond.
Well, the fancy options were a 4-card overcall or a 1-no overcall.
No, I would just bid one diamond. I'm
Yeah, Levin's straightforward. He doesn't. Levin's going to make the straightforward bid, which is certainly one diamond. Now South wants to preempt to 4 diamonds, but there's a general rule that you can't preempt a preempt. So I wonder if 4 diamonds here would be weak.
Well, it should either be weak or mixed because you're not cubiting. So you do have sterile distribution, but the 5 diamonds are pretty potent. And as far as you know, partner might want to, if the opponents get to 4 spades, partner might want to save. So he bids 3 diamonds because he has no shortness.
5 diamonds looks like a make here with the king, queen of hearts on side, and they might bid it and they might make it.
You're right.
It's really pretty good on this auction because if you figure East has all like a bunch of high spades, the king, queen of hearts rate to be onside. I think Levin's going to bid 4 hearts now. The 4 hearts,
You're going to get
there'll
together.
be, it's two, yeah, 4 hearts is a two-way bid here. You know, your partner might have some hearts. I guess he could have doubled 2 spades, but he might have some hearts and you have a good hand. So I think Bobby's going to bid 4 hearts.
I think Bobby's going to bid 4 hearts also.
They're going to play 5 diamonds, undoubled, making 5, I would guess. Is there any way to go wrong? Oh, so he chose a double instead. That's reasonable. That might not get them to game because I think Weinstein's going to bid only 4 diamonds. And that might end it.
And again, looking around the virtual room, no one has got to 5 diamonds. There are several tables playing in 4 diamonds.
Well, Bobby might be hoping that his partner can bid 3 no trump when he doubles, but that's not going to happen, obviously. The modern style, which we all embrace, is all these doubles, the takeout doubles, the penalty doubles that would have been popular in the 1950s or 60s don't really exist anymore. These doubles now are all support, or they're a myriad of meanings, but they're seldom penalty doubles. And as Larry surmised, they did not get to game.
Well, I surmised on my second guess. So my first guess, they were getting there with 4 hearts by North.
Well, you're 50% in your surmises.
Looking at all the cards, I'm a good guesser.
Yeah, you're that.
Well, missing this white game is no big crime, although, you know, at this point, he probably suspects the king, queen of hearts are right, with East having the king, queen of spades. West opened the bidding, so he probably wishes he was in it. This will take no more than 5 seconds. There is a button they can press to claim. So short trump, club to the king, heart up, and claim.
At the table, you would just say to your opponent, "Do you have the queen of hearts?" And then you claim.
Yeah. One of the reasons, like when we do our cruises, Mitch, and we have the gold rush, the lower division and the higher division, I don't think he's claiming 12 tricks. That's a mistake. 10 tricks. Sure. 11 tricks, yeah. Is that the newer players, they don't see that they have the rest. This would get played out and it just delays things. That's why it takes longer in the second division. Because all these deals get played out. They don't see that they have all the rest. They don't claim.
Yeah,
I'm criticizing. It's just an observation. Yeah.
No, you're right. At this level, these guys can claim. If I'm playing on BBO, if I'm playing on BBO with someone, I find that it's often pointless to be claiming because
they don't see it, and I have sympathy for that. If you haven't played a million deals, you don't see it. Oh, why do you have the rest? Yeah.
No, I have sympathy for it too. But again, if I'm playing against you, or you're playing against me, you're going to have one level of expectation. But when I'm playing against lesser players, I'm rooting for them to do well against me. I mean, I want to win, but the point is I want to be, I'm not there to make them feel uncomfortable. And if they do something good against me, I like to compliment them, and I'm not going to claim, because I know that all it's going to do is slow things down.
Before we get into the next board, just to update you around the room again. So Lebovitz had a swing against them on that hand where 3-no had the intricate analysis. Zia and Daniel actually played it in 4 spades and went down. So that was a game swing out to Simpson.
With the ace queen fourth opposite 3 little, and where I was hypothizing, was that a
No,
word with the low diamond lead?
Well, yes, exactly. King, queen, jack of diamonds and dummy.
Mm-hmm. So what did 3 clubs mean here? Can we see the alert? Was it mixed or weak? Mixed. So West doubles. West really would have had a stretch to pick 4 clubs. So he doubles and hopes partner. Now partner, it's the dreaded 3 diamonds. This is why I don't play anymore, Mitch. I would double with the West hand and my partner would do 3 diamonds. Now what? He passed.
Well,
I'm playing a 4-2.
Larry, I think there might be several reasons why you don't play anymore. This is probably not in the top 10.
Well, this one is not going to be pleasant. Did anyone do anything stupid? No. I guess I'll give some credit to that treatment of the mixed rays that made it very uncomfortable. But here they are, with a 4, they have a reasonable 4 heart contract, and they're in this ridiculous 4-2 fit in a minor.
I love mixed raises. I mean, mixed raises and support doubles are like my 2 favorite conventions. And I just think when you make preemptive raises, oftentimes you can push the opponents into a light game that makes. And I've had much better results with mixed raises. So I'm a huge fan of that.
And for the audience, what mixed means, there's several ways to define mixed, but the simplest way is mixed raise. It's at least for trump, and it is more than a preempt, but less than limit. So in between weak invitational, so 8-ish, something like this. I've also heard it described as some defense, but I think just to say it's more than a preempt is fine, less than limit.
Simpson's on a roll. They also bid to 5 diamonds on the previous hand and made that. So that's 2 significant swings in the past 2 boards. That match is now 10 imps apart.
Declare is just going to try to scramble some tricks here. He wants to hopefully win this for off a club. Then get his ace king of hearts. He just wants to try to get up to 6 or 7 tricks.
Right.
Now, if the other table gets to 4 hearts, they lose a heart, a spade, a club. I wonder if 4 hearts can make or not. I would think yes.
I think the favorable spade position with jack and a spade makes 4 hearts makeable without too much fuss.
So I wonder, what do we think? It's so hard to criticize Mike Purcell's action, but I mean, he certainly took by far the worst of all roads here. I don't know. What do you think of just 1 club past 3 clubs, 4 clubs? That's just too big a bid. It's got such a nice upside, though.
I feel like I'd like one more little something.
Mm.
Yeah, Now, on the flip side of this is if you think that partner's straining always to get to a major, when is it right to be bidding a 3-card major instead of a 4-card minor? It's easier at a lower level to be bidding hearts when you have that hand. At the higher level, it's tougher, but partners under pressure. You can hardly criticize someone for bidding their long suit, bidding 3 diamonds. But obviously, if you bid hearts, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And hearts
You
could be.
know, Goodman would, yeah, no, I would bid 3 diamonds with Goodman's hand, wouldn't you? I mean,
No, I
you
would bid, but
twice,
if I was at a lower level though, I might bid a 3-card major as opposed to a 4-card minor. That's all I'm saying. At the higher level, I'm often going to get boosted, and I don't really want that.
Yeah, that West Hand's a nightmare. It's like for those people who read Bridge World Master Solvers Club, it's like problem D, where it says, what would you do? And if you double, partner bids 3 diamonds, now what? You know, if you double, you kind of lost your bet when partner bids
Yeah.
3 diamonds.
You got to hand it to Levin and Weinstein. They put pressure on their opponents, and they've created this result, which is going to be very tasty. It's going to go club queen, and now a club rough, and then there's going to be another diamond loser. They earn their swing here.
When I used to play in these long matches and then beat myself up at night about what I could have done, there were some things that were mistakes. And here, I would consider this judgment for Purcell. I wouldn't call it a mistake necessarily. I would call it misjudgment.
The only
Those
other
didn't
table,
bother me as much as dumb mistakes.
the only other table that faced that same issue, Zia faced it, doubled, got 3 diamonds, and then he did bid 3 hearts. So we got to side on making 4 hearts.
Wow. What a difference. Well, that's not the other table of this match. The other table of this match, we don't know yet, right?
Correct.
Zia is in a different match.
Just about to get it.
Surprised there was no smoking break. Usually, there would have been a smoking break here.
That's funny. That's true.
All right, well, this looks like a 3-0 for North-South. Anytime you see 2 opening bids opposite each other and no 8-card major suit fit, you just expect 3-0. So the question of how spade past 2 clubs, past 2-0, past 3-0, I would say is the natural option. I'm going to go with that. Spade 2 clubs, 2-0, 3-0.
Hard to argue with that.
And the opening lead, and I would say on that auction, is
So,
unattractive.
Larry, when you're teaching your students, what's your opinion about a 2 spade rebid promising 6 versus the alternative, which is the old school approach? Do you have do you have a passion for either of those decisions?
I do. I do. And this has been well hashed out on Bridge Winners and in my writing. In fact, maybe I can find a link we can put up. I'm a big believer in the school that says if you repeat your major, you show 6. There's pros and cons. I'm not gonna, it's like Democrats and Republicans. Some people are passionate about it. I'm not. I could play your way if you want, but I teach and recommend if you repeat the major, it shows 6. Certainly over 1 spade 2 clubs, it would show 6. What about you?
Well, I would say I'm amenable to doing what my partners want in this situation. I've played it both ways. I know it wins on some hands and loses on others. Over a spade two clubs, you can manufacture a two diamond bid when you know, as opposed to bidding two no turn without a stopper. So it's easy on that auction to have it show six. But again, I mostly do what my partners want in that situation.
Yeah, there's pros and cons. Let me see if I could find a link that we can. Oh, I don't know that I can put things in. Yeah, I can. I'll see if I can find the link to that debate. Since it's been hashed out many, many times. Let's see.
You know, one of and you're again with your wealth of experience, Larry, um, you would have an opinion about this. One of the things that I often am asked by improving players, what do I think is the best way to improve quickly? And there's play lots of hands like the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hour rule. But one of the things I say is read the Master Solvers Club in the bridge world. I can't think of anything that improved my game more than that and playing lots of hands.
For advanced players, yeah, that definitely, yeah, people who are looking to get, like flight A type, the Bridge Winners Master Solvers Club's incredible. For newer players, I think that's a little advanced.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm looking for that discussion. Let me look for you. I'm leaving you with the play in 3-0, but it looked to me not to be too involved.
All
And I
right,
agree with that 10 of diamonds lead, by the way.
I'm not working up too much of a sweat. I agree with the 10 of diamonds play, and I think that Stevie is going to bring this home.
Here's
while
the
this hand
link.
isn't maybe the most interesting, at the other table in this match, on the previous hand, where we had that 3 diamond semi-disaster, the other table got 1 diamond, 3 clubs from South, which was basically a fit jump showing diamonds and clubs, and that made West's double much easier, right? He's showing the majors.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Can everyone see that thing I put in the chat? If not you, and maybe you can put it in wherever it needs to be put in Twitch or whatever. I'm not.
You put it in the Zoom chat, I will transfer it. No, hang on.
Okay, I put it in the Zoom chat, and I don't. Nobody that I know over 60 does Twitch or Twitter or Twitter or any of that stuff. That's one thing about my demographic, Mitch. When I teach, it's like they're my people. I think if I had to teach in college, I'd have to revive my repertoire and get more modern. But
For
I
those
like
of
my
you,
people. I like the demographic. Yeah.
for those of you who are viewing or watching, Larry Cohn is one of the preeminent teachers around today, and I urge you either to go to his website or listen or attend his lectures because there's a wealth of knowledge for anyone at any level. So take a look at that link.
I expect in this boring 3-0 that I want to point out something to you that maybe it's controversial. Let's make sure here he's making his contract. Is he?
Well,
I don't like to.
his partner doesn't have any. West does not have any more diamonds, so I think he's going to be forced to make 3-0.
Well, he's setting up a club in dummy, so
Then he'll have a spade entry, and he can force a heart trick.
okay.
I go club, club, pitching another spade, and then spade to the ace, and he can cash a club and knock out a heart.
Okay, so what I was going to talk about is something I don't know if you've thought about this, Mitch. I know you've done so much for the future of the game and trying to get this game to be preserved. Here's the problem I'm running into. I'm teaching people who are like in their 70s, 80s, and most of them, when they were in college, they played cards or they played bridge. But what's about to happen 10 years from now is I'm going to be getting these people on these cruises who went to college in 1980 or later, and they didn't play cards in college. And they're taking up bridge at the age of 75, having never played cards. And that is really tough. really difficult. And right now, I'm still teaching people who played some cards when they were younger, and they can kind of have a little card sense. But we're getting to a point where we're going to be teaching people in their 70s who just took up cards for the first time in retirement, and it's a challenge. That's going to be very tough. I don't know if the teachers have thought about that challenge.
You know, for our parents or grandparents' generation who survived the Depression, they played cards because they had no money. It was a form of entertainment. And as our society advances and you have the internet and video games and poker, you have a million other things people can do in their spare time. And unfortunately, the issue that you're really raising is simply that uh, people's brains don't work as well when they get older. I know that a few years ago, before going to France, I decided I was going to teach myself French. And I was pretty good at memorizing vocabulary, but when I got to France and I started to speak and they would speak fast, I was worthless. And this is bridge is the same way. So to me, I mean, what you're going to be doing is teaching people the joy of taking tricks, the nuances of. I think it's easier to teach people how to bid well than to take tricks, but bidding is frustrating. And so to me, I think some form of the game that's going to be taught over time is very minimal bidding and just having people enjoy taking tricks. But it's not a, you know, as you look to someone learning as they get older and older, it's not a pretty picture for the game. There's no doubt. I do think the game will survive, but it is shrinking, and unless we teach young people to play, um, you know, it just seems like we're slowly turning into a dinosaur, which is depressing because for the two of us and for most of our viewers, bridge has been an amazing experience and part of our lives. And so I want to, and the reason why I'm involved in this, and you love teaching too, is I want to share that joy with others. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
a
for those of our
beautiful game.
listeners who aren't aware, Mitch has been one of the really great sponsors and mentors for many of the current juniors, particularly in the US. I had the great pleasure of playing a bit with Reese Koppel, who's one of the current US junior crowd. And you know, if you get him talking about Mitch, he just lights up. He's like, Mitch is the greatest guy in the world. He saved our, and so I want to give credit to Mitch here for just
No,
putting
no.
effort and time into it.
I paid Reese to say that. That's not really true.
Yeah.
No,
So-
honestly, look, we all do something. If we have the time or the energy, we do something. And I'm giving back because it's been meaningful to me. And you know what? Honestly, it's really fun being around young, bright minds. And so the program I'm involved in, I'm around young, like I was in Louisville playing bridge, and there were 15 people walking in front of me to dinner wearing University of Chicago bridge t-shirts talking about getting gold points and how exciting it was getting a top on a board. And as silly as that sounds, that just filled me with joy because we need more of those people. So,
That's what we were 50 years ago. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
I mean, so but you've got, it's not just me, you've got a million people I could tell you who are doing a lot for Young Bridge. I just have a little more time than most people to do it. And I really feel like I get more out of it than I give. So, you know, thank you for your kind words. Reese, if you're listening, I owe you $20 for that compliment. But seriously, the game, you know, we're here because we're fans. We love the game. And Larry and I aren't getting, and you and aren't getting paid the big bucks for doing this, but we love watching it playing and eating and breathing bridge.
This looks like a pretty normal four spades, north, south. East has a quite normal takeout double this time. Support for the other three suits of 15 points. Just a question of South's probably got all sorts of fun ways he can, many possible things he can say about his hand. So he's chosen 3-0, whatever that means. I assume that means he has a single shortness somewhere. We can click on the star, Ewan, and four spades with some defense. Oh, interesting. Sort of like another mixed race. So it says nothing about the singleton. 11 will be four spades, and that's that. And there's not much in this.
Larry must not be a Star Wars fan because Ewan McGregor has got my name into most people's minds these days.
Yeah. No, I know Ewan McGregor, and for some reason, I'm stumbling over it.
Now, Larry, Ewan denies being one of those expat Brits whose accent gets thicker, having lived in the States for 15 or 20 years. He told me that's mostly Scots and not the Brits. So,
Was Wait a minute, didn't I see Ewan McGregor in playing bridge in Fargo season 3? Wasn't that him? I'm pretty
there,
sure.
there was
Maybe
someone.
it's maybe I'm mixing that up. I know Fargo season 3 had a regional bridge tournament in it, and I'm pretty sure. Well, let me see.
So this end isn't very interesting, but I will share with you a cute celebrity bridge story. Some number of years ago, I was playing in a club game in Los Angeles, and Will Chamberlain, who played a fair amount of bridge in his life, was playing at the next table. And I got to hear the interaction between him and everyone going to his table. This man was such an unbelievable gentleman. It was really wonderful. But anyway, there was a guy at the time who was probably about 80 years old. He comes to Chamberlain's table and he says to Chamberlain, he says, "You look familiar. I think I've seen you somewhere." And Chamberlain says, "That's possible." And he says, "I know. Did you ever play basketball?" And Chamberlain says, "Yes, I did." And now the guy says, "Did you attend the University of Kansas?" And Chamberlain says, "Yes, I did." And now the guy says, "I knew I'd seen you somewhere." And I just thought that was like one of the greatest interactions I've ever seen.
It is pretty funny.
And Larry's correct, by the way. Ewan McGregor did indeed go to a bridge tournament in Fargo. So, nice pop culture reference there.
Yeah, I like what someone was asking recently. For pop when Bridge is in. Yeah, I just put a link up there. Yeah, he played two brothers, and they did play at the Wildcat Regional, and they had a lot of bridge, and it was quite realistic. In fact, the episodes were named "The Law of Restricted Choice" and "The Law of Vacant Spaces," and they've had a lot of bridge in Fargo season 3. Yeah, that was Ewan McGregor, that Star Wars fame. All right, he emerged with 12 tricks.
Nickel
Seems like
lead
a
is
lot.
now grown to 12 imps. I think we're ahead of the other room here, but still they're up by 12.
And Nickel will have their front four in for the final 15 boards. Greco and Hampson will play with Levin and Weinstein. That's certainly two of the top pairs, if not the two top pairs in America today, will be in for the final set.
Leibovitz Simpson continues to be very close. Rosenthal continues to pull away ever so slightly from Randall.
So I think South has a hand that will Stamen and then invite. So 1 no, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 2 no. Oh, now we get Stamen. So when Stamen gets doubled, most experts today, they have a way they answer, but they also say whether or not they have a stopper. And a direct bid of 2 hearts here would be hearts with a stopper. So he's going to pass to say he does not have a club stopper. Weinstein's going to redouble to ask again. And now when Levin answers with 2 hearts, he's going to say, partner, I have 4 more hearts, and I do not have club stopped. So I don't know what Weinstein's going to do with that information, because he's not going to want to be in hearts or no trump. So that's re-Stamen.
Well, they can make 4 hearts if they get to it.
Can they? 2 clubs and a diamond, and ooh, looks like a lot of work. But oh, what's 2 diamonds now? Maybe that means, I mean, it means no.
2 diamonds probably shows hearts. 2
Oh,
diamonds.
right, that's the right side. Yes, this is the way. It's funny, Mitch. Last year, David explained this whole thing to me. It's the new way to do it, to right side. And I said, David, I'm not going to remember all this crap. But yeah, this is the newfangled way the experts have figured out to right side the contract. So, like if Sal has, say, 4 hearts and the king of clubs, you want to play from the south side. So, yeah, that's a transfer. Well,
And
not
for
a transfer,
example,
but
over the two clubs double pass, by the same token, if South had a 5 card major and a four card major, they don't play small in there. They bid their 5 card suit for the same reason. They want to play they want to protect their club holding.
wouldn't shock me if Weinstein passes. I mean, he knows a lot now. He knows there's no club stopper for neutral, and he knows there's no 4-4 spade fit. I think he might pass.
Do we know whether they're playing 15 to 17 or 14 to 16?
I think it's 15 to 17. There it is. It's a pass. 2 diamonds.
I'm not surprised either. And the other table, what's happening in other rooms, Ewan, with this hand? This is interesting.
So we're actually a little ahead at this point. But on 44, we have 2 tables in Fleischer Bailey, both played in 4 hearts, making and going down 2 for a big swing. And then Lebovitz Simpson playing in 2 diamonds, just like here.
I have a lot of sympathy passing 2 diamonds, I must confess.
Yeah, makes sense to me. For anyone who is intrigued by these methods I was talking about the pass and the redouble and the transfer, my advice is, unless you plan to do this for a living, or you have like what kind of memory, some memory, infallible memory.
Eidetic, yep.
Life's too short. Yeah, don't bother. I mean, life's too short. Why are you going to learn all this stuff? And you'd have a partner who has to learn all this stuff. It's not going to come up until August, and no one's going to remember it. So it's just practical. Practical. It's fun. If you're Levin and Weinstein and you're doing this for a living, by all means, play the right methods. But for 99.9% of bridge players, it's just not practical to learn this stuff. And I find players get intrigued. Oh, that's great stuff. Let's learn this, partner. And then, your head's clogged with that, and you go to play bridge and you can't even take a finesse because you're so stressed out trying to remember all this esoteric stuff that never comes up.
So Woolridge and
Passionate about
Granger
it. Yeah.
duplicated exactly the auction you see here. Same bids, same meanings, same doubles and redoubles, same final pass.
Yeah, this method evolved, and it's also like puppet Stamen. 1-no pass, 2-nos puppet Stamen has evolved in the expert community over the last few decades, and little stuff like this just is constantly being developed by the Eric Rodwells of the world. And yeah, at the top level, it's nice stuff, but for people I'm teaching, all this stuff's sort of irrelevant. You don't want them even knowing about it. It's counterproductive.
So in a kind of related wrinkle, Zach and Michael Rosenberg are playing north-south in this board, and the auction went 1-no by north, 2-no by south as puppet. And I think that's become more common to avoid allowing the defenders to double a 3-club puppet bid, which is exactly what you see here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but the difference there, I think, is whether you're prepared to force a game or not. If you're not going to force the game, then you're going to go through 2 clubs and bid and subside in 2-no. If you're going to force the game, then 2-no trump, particularly when you only have 1 4-card major, is quite appealing. Because if you're playing 2-no as puppet Stamen and partner bids 3 clubs, denying a 5-card major, you can now bid the 4-card major you don't have, and so you don't go through 2 clubs. There's a lot more to this, and Larry just gave everyone some very practical advice. For most players, just ignore everything that these people are doing and just, don't clutter your brain. If you have no life like me, then you want to memorize this.
KISS. All right, this is our final board. And there'll be a short break and then 15 more. And Ewan, thank you for running the show here. And Mitch, it was a pleasure. I hope we get to do this again sometime.
I've enjoyed it as well. Ewan, you're doing a great job. And Larry, it's just a pleasure listening to you chat and going through this. I hope we do get to do this again.
many thanks to both of you. I'm pinch hitting here for Rob Barrington. He's acquired extra hair in the intersession break here, but he's the guy really running most of these sessions. He's doing a sterling job. And again, seriously, thanks to both of you for the great analysis and repartee.
Looks like we have a fun deal here to conclude. West is going to bid maybe only 2 spades, and boy, East. So West thought he was too good to just bid 2 spades. So he starts with a double, which can't thrill East. Or East has like a choice here. East could double.
East, if I were East, I would probably be doubling here, but I don't hate pass either. But are you? Mike had a very difficult hand with poor intermediate spade spots, bidding 4 spades. Well, he's bidding 4 spades. He must have been prepared to do that if he was going to double the first time.
Well, it's kind of good news, bad news, good news in the dummy. But Jack 3 of spades is kind of nice, but the King 10 4 of hearts, yuck. So 4 spades is not gonna be very fun here. Well, the North does have to lead something. North, let's say, if North led the ace of hearts. Well, North is not happy about this 4 spade bid. I guess he's going to just double, but yeah, South's certainly going to pass. So it's going to be 4 spades doubled. What should North lead? He could lead.
Yeah, he's probably lead the ace of hearts. So when that gets roughed, and if a spade gets played, he'll probably exit a diamond. We'll see.
He might lead the 10 of diamonds. He might lead the ace of spades.
Yeah,
ace of spades. Yeah.
Ace of spades is a fine lead. You look at the dummy, and now he's probably going to switch to a diamond, I would guess.
Well, he doesn't know that the ace of hearts isn't cashing. For all he knows, his partner has only 3 hearts.
But it's not going away.
Now, he can't read the 8 of spades. You would think this ace of spades would get a suit preference play, like if South had, the 8 was the 8. It's not.
So he struck gold with the diamond switch, as CV has all the diamond spots. And now Mike Purcell is not going to be a happy guy.
No, nothing good can happen here. I guess he's going to go down 2. Well, the question is, would 4 hearts have made? So, if he's down 500,
and as long as you don't
know that 4 hearts is down. Four hearts has to lose 2 diamonds and a heart.
Yeah, I think he could easily. Well, now he should be roughing a diamond.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah. So
4 hearts looks like it was a make, right? A heart and 2 diamonds, and
as long as you avoid losing
dummy with hearts.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is actually, I think this is par. Par meaning the best result if everyone was looking at all the cans. So I think this is an okay save. So will be happy to find out that 4 hearts was a make. Maybe even 790 at some tables. Well, this will be an interesting board to watch. Are we going to stick around, Ewan, and just maybe watch this at another table?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
we can certainly watch the other table.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find someone in 4 hearts. Can we find someone in 4 hearts on this board?
Sure.
This is 5. We're conceding 500 here.
There you go.
Sure. Well, don't leave yet. Viewers like to see the 500, but I can assure you it's 500. He's going to trump this, and even if he makes a club play, he'll probably play the 10 of clubs, low jack. Well, it's going to get out with the ace of hearts, and that's that. Notice that if South's doubleton club is the 5 and the 4. If it was the jack low or queen low, declarer could actually get out for down only 1, because he's going to run the 10 of clubs. Well, what just happened here? What?
Mike made a mistake.
What did he do?
He
didn't trump the diamond?
He made a mistake.
So it's a good thing we didn't leave. He's going down an extra trick for no reason. He didn't trump his diamond in the dummy. That is weird. He must have, I don't know if he misclicked or misbrained, but he, for no reason, went down an extra trick.
And this
All right.
match, which had been so close for so long, it's just opened up a gap at the end right here.
What was the other swing? Can we see that? Why was there a big swing to nickel?
That
Let's
hasn't
look
happened
at
on
the
the board
scoreboard.
yet. Sure.
It must have, one of the boards we watched must have come in board 42 with the
3-0 was
3-0
a
that
swing.
we talked over the 3-0 Weinstein we said was going to make it, but they went down on the 10 of diamonds lead at the other table. Can we see why 3-0 went down on the 10 of diamonds lead? Mitch, you assured me it was going to make easily, and you were right.
A blind squirrel finds an acorn sometime.
Well, I'm glad you weren't at the other table because this is where we left off and DeClara went down from this position. This is the exact position we got to at the other table. Yeah, it was okay. Still okay. Still okay.
But he pitched a spade instead of a heart.
Yeah, this is where Weinstein pitched a heart. Okay, so he threw the wrong thing there. I don't know if he had a reason to do that, but now when he played a heart, West got a spade trick. All right, so that was 12 imps to nickel.
Yep.
Okay.
So here, where they were playing 2 diamonds, North-South here got 4 hearts instead.
Did they go down?
Wait, this is live. I'm playing it right now.
Oh, there's live. Oh, so they might, if they make 4 hearts, they can gain back a little bit. Stop
Well,
the bleeding a little bit.
Well, they should make 4 hearts.
So let's see how they got the 4 hearts. 1 no, 2 clubs, the same double, north pass east, but 3 clubs. So double the nut jump to 4 hearts.
And do we think a double of 3 clubs was just really statement?
I think the double of 3 clubs was just values do something intelligent.
They've lost 2 trips, but they should only lose the ace of diamonds in here. Right?
More hearts will make. He's going to rough this heart. He's going to play the queen of hearts, diamond of the queen, and the 10 of diamonds falling makes this.
Yeah, so this will be, what is it, 7 imps back to Juster. They'll be down 17, but they're going to certainly lose on the next board.
Vulnerable, so it's a 490. Isn't that 12 imps?
Oh, they're vulnerable. They're vulnerable, yes. I was doing 420, 620. So what's that? 9 or 10? 10 imps, I think. Be down 14, and they'll lose something on the last board. Yeah, so now he can draw trump and claim. Win this, ace of hearts, draw trump and claim.
And this is the table it's most behind. So the other matches are basically all done. Leibovitz Simpson, less than 10 imps. Rosenthal has closed up a little, actually. Rosenthal's up by 23 going into the last segment.
Well, it'll be interesting to see 4 hearts. I assume you and that 4 hearts is making on board 45 at the other matches.
So we
on the
have
next board.
2 pairs making it, 1 pair in 4 hearts doubled going down 1, and then 2 pairs in 4 spades. The other pair in 4 spades was not doubled and went only down 1. So we've got quite a variety of results.
Well, it's hard to see how it goes down.
You mean 4 hearts?
Yeah.
Especially 4 hearts doubled, where you know the hearts are wrong and clubs are 3-3 on side. I agree. It's hard to see it going down, but
Declarer won the ace of spades and played ace of clubs, and that was that.
what?
Wow. Wow.
That's a strange play.
That could be someone who's just tired. It's early in the tournament, but this is a third day, and people do get tired, and sometimes have a blind spot.
That tired though to not take to play ace queen jack fifth up is too little without with an ace. It's almost like a misclick. Like we saw Purcell
Yeah.
lose the extra trick in four spades double.
That was Josh Don. I know he's been playing, I think, every board in 2 different partnerships, so he has an excuse.
Oh, okay, but he's in a match. He's down 5. He's down a million imps. He probably just
He's
that I wouldn't read. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a fine player. He's probably thinking about dinner right now.
yeah, I wouldn't read much into that at that stage. So what do 3 diamonds mean here? Because not everyone knows what the double means. Weak with 4 hearts. Mitch, did you play this as diamonds or as a good hand? It's double. Not everyone knows.
I would play,
means.
well, first of all, the 3 diamond bit, I would play it's invitational with diamonds, but obviously that's not what they play it as. And
Yeah, me too.
And double of 3 diamonds, if it's some kind of heart raise, just has to be takeout of hearts. I would play that a 3 heart cubit is probably Michael's. I'm not sure, but I would play that. I would play that double 3 diamonds is takeout of hearts.
What if it was a limit raise? See, I would play if it was a limit raise. My thinking was it's not our hand, so doubles lead directing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. People who play Bergen races, for example, it's the same thing. If it's 3, it goes a spade past 3 clubs, which is the 4 card raise that's not less than a limit raise, I think double should be take out of the major. But if it's a spade past 3 diamonds showing a limit raise, then I would play the double is diamonds because it's not our hand, just what you said.
This is one of the big reasons that Bergen raises is when you're north here and you know about that 4th trump, it makes your hand incredible. Notice at the other table when it went 1 heart past 2 hearts, and you might be facing 3 hearts jack. That's a different ball game. When you know about the 4th trump, that north hand's powerful.
It's enormous value. Enormous value. You're right.
So in that context, what are you doing here with North? Are you still doubling?
Ooh.
Well, 3 diamonds is a weak raise, then he doesn't have a double. 3 diamonds is a mixed raise, then he's going to double.
Well, he has gotten to show his hand too. He did show the clubs, and now so this will probably be down 507 careless imps to Nichols. So
I do like the lead of the ace of spades because it looks like you're going to get end played sooner or later, and then you get to see the dummy. So I do like the lead of the ace of spades.
I suspect on the ace of hearts lead, you're probably down only 1.
Well, in the ace of hearts lead, yeah.
I'm going to cheat and find out. Oh, interesting.
wow. So it can always be down 1. Oh, let's declare it out for down 1. It looks to me like he has to lose 2 spades and oh, I see how. Ace, king, queen of sort of what Purcell did, but without laying down the king of spades first. How about ace, king, queen, and a diamond throwing a club from dummy? And then you can chump a club in the dummy. That's how. But you can't lay down the king of spades first.
Right.
I guess if you get the ace of spades lead, that's not impossible because
Right. Right. Play for stiff ace of spades and just play 4 rounds of diamonds. Throw a club from dummy. Maybe that's what Purcell was thinking, but he didn't realize that South could just draw the queen of spades.
so yeah, as I said, this is the slowest table, so there's nowhere else to go after this board is done. My thanks again to Larry and Mitch for their time and joyous commentary.
Well, the two of you are a pleasure to chat and discuss this bridge. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And I'm going to go humiliate myself some more by playing golf tomorrow.
I wish I could join you. What's your index these days?
It is now around 14.
You got to give me one stroke. I've been in a slump. Last year, I would have been giving you.
Well, someday we shall play, sir.
Sounds good. One thing, if you could, I don't know if you have influence, I have influence. We got it. This format for watching bridge is incredible. I mean, it's
Yeah.
See but nobody knows about it. We're talking like a tree falling in the forest. No one knows how to find this. So yeah, I know the people who are listening know, but 90% of the people will never find us here, and it's a shame because this is so much better than with the table operator at the table, and you see the explanations, you can see other matches, and somehow we have to get the word out before the next team trials that this platform exists.
I know you've had conversations with Rob about this, and I have too. And the bottom line is, I'm a big believer in Bronya Jenkins, everything she's trying to do as the as the head poobah of the ACBL. And I think we just need to bend her ear, and that will lead to a lot of publicity that which will get this the attention it deserves.
Yeah, this is recorded, so they can even do it after the fact. I mean, if someone, all of these broadcasts are available, right, somewhere?
Yep. USBF.
So even after the fact, maybe we can get direct people. Maybe someone's going to be watching this in some time capsule 100 years from now, and we'll all be dead. Hello to all of you out there.
All right. Well, they have not had the best defense here. The Ace of Hearts was led, and the Heart was continued, and now I think we're
Ace
going
of
to
spades. No, it was Ace of spades lead.
see 4 rounds of diamonds, bluffing a diamond, and they're going to end up losing 2 clubs and a spade. So they'll be down
12 imps for nickel. 12 imps for nickel. And they will have a pretty nice, comfortable 26 imp lead with their front 4 coming in. So the Las Vegas odds, I would say it would be at least 10-1 on nickel.
Well,
That's
10
my
to 1.
line, 10-1.
Okay. I would make it 7-1.
I was going to say, I would take Juicer at either one of those odds, I have to say. Going into the last segment, Lebovitz Simpson's now a 2-imp match.
Well, that's probably the one you'll focus on.
I will not be here. Robin's going to be back for the last segment, so it's his call.
All right. So we'll make the line 8.5-1.
Okay, and we're betting.
Well, that's the line. You can take action on both sides. On 8.5-1 in favor of nickel. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Be well,
folks.
everybody. Take care. Enjoy your weekends.